Hang it, Bobby. Shut up. It's time for Yab's Pod.
Hello and welcome back to yet another bullshit podcast. As always, I'm Jeremy, he's Dalton, and we're here to entertain you for a couple hours this week. So how's your week been, Dalton?
Kind of boring if I'm honest. I've been playing some video games and stuff, but other than that, not much. I've been grilling more because it's been like warm outside. But today, unfortunately, like I stepped outside to smoke a cigarette earlier, and dude, it rained for like 5 minutes, and in Florida, when it rains for 5 minutes, it goes from like being, 90 degrees to 110 because of the humidity.
Oh, it does that here too. It's fucking terrible.
It's awful, man. So I've been staying inside today. But yeah, not much, man. What about you? What you been up to, man?
Mine's been the opposite of boring. I've had probably one of the most stressful weeks I've had in a long time. So Jen and I have officially split up, so dealing with the fallout of that's been really fun. It's been like a hell of a week. I ended up going to my doctor and getting some antidepressants, so hopefully my disposition gets a little more cheery in a week or two. We'll definitely find out one way or the other. Yeah, just a crazy week. Did start watching Stranger Things season 4. That's been pretty good so far. Went to see the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness Thursday night, I think. That was it's pretty good. It's like if you're a Doctor Strange fan, you're probably like popping a little Gene tent. But like I'm not a huge Doctor Strange fan, so I'm not up on a lot of his story and stuff, but it's an interesting movie. Like they had some pretty interesting cameos in it. I don't want to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen it yet. It's supposed to be on Disney Plus the 22nd, I think. So like a few weeks from now. So, but yeah, I hate spoilers, so I'm not going to actually spoil any of it for anybody.
Much appreciated.
Oh yeah. I think I put in the group that the new trailer for the Beavis and Butthead movie got dropped and looks absolutely fucking hilarious. I don't know if you watched it or not.
I have not had a chance to watch it yet, but I adore Beavis and Butthead, and I loved Do America. So this one is called Beavis and Butthead Do the Universe?
Yeah. So in the trailer, basically Beavis and Butthead, somehow it's not explained, somehow end up on a fucking spaceship and end up in space and get sucked through some wormhole or something. And they basically like wake up or like get back to Earth in 2022. And it's funny because they like wash up on a beach or something, and Butthead's like, "Hey Beavis, look at the number on that sign." And it shows a sign where it's like some advertisement for like a public event, and it's like July whatever 2022, and Beavis is like some kind of circle, and Butthead's like, "No, not that number, that one." They point up and it says like 69th annual. He's like 69, and they both start doing the regular like laugh. Oh, dude, it looks funny as shit, man. Mike Judge is great. I've loved everything I've seen that he's done. And,
I saw where him and his buddy that did King of the Hill started a new animation company or whatever, and they're going to be bringing back King of the Hill.
I heard that, and I'm a little torn on it because I love King of the Hill, but like I can't imagine Hank Hill as like a Trump supporter or a GOP nut job or whatever. Like, so I'm really nervous to see how that plays out.
It could be, I don't know. It could be interesting if they do it where everyone's aged. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. Maybe Bobby's in college. Or I guess maybe Bobby would be older than college by now. I don't know, but but say Bobby's in college. Yeah. That could bring up a lot of things that could be like, I learned something today type moments for Hank if he's like one of those type of people, to where by the end of it, it could be that Hank's not that kind of guy anymore. You know what I mean? Like he's more of a Dallas Texan instead of the other areas of Texas.
Oh yeah. We'll see about that. I think one of the funniest episodes to me was the one where he got to meet George Bush GW, shook his hand and like he had a fucking limp handshake. Hank's just, "Bah!" And he decides he's not going to vote, so he just like goes to Mexico with Dale Gribble to avoid voting.
I remember I watched that not that long ago, and dude, he's got a limp handshake.
Oh my god, it's
tremendous.
It's great.
King of the Hill is one of the greatest fucking shows of all time, dude.
King of the Hill is amazing. I know like Brittany Murphy's dead, so I don't know what they would do with Luann. I feel like they'll do like they did with Slinky Dog and Toy Story and just find someone who sounds similar and go with it. It's kind of the beauty of animation is you can do that if you have to.
Yeah. Or have Luann be like moved away or something. I don't know. There's different ways that you could cover it.
So,
sure.
Who's your favorite King of the Hill character?
Oh my god. I know everybody's answer is probably Dale, and that's a strong.
That would probably be my answer. Yeah.
I really, really like Boomhauer, but if I was gonna like pick a favorite character, just one that like I always end up laughing at, it's Bill, dude.
Oh yeah,
Bill Dotrey. Like that guy's. I'll never forget watching Dodgeball, and the guy in that movie when he has the wife and he looks at her and he goes, "L for love," and she, like with that whole scene, I was like, "Oh my god, that's fucking Bill Dotrey."
Yep.
And I looked it up, and sure as shit, that's the actor who does his voice. And I was like, "Motherfucker, I know that voice anywhere."
Because he was in Office Space. Like, I mean, he's a pretty big like.
I think he's a character actor.
Like a character actor, yeah.
Yeah.
So he's been in a lot of stuff.
He's fucking hilarious, dude.
Can't think of his name right offhand, but yeah, he's hilarious. Yeah, I'd probably say Dale just because his antics. I really like Joseph because he's just so fucking stupid. Like he's just that dumb jock, and it's so funny. Yeah,
Joseph, the whole John Redcorn thing, like that whole running theme is just tremendous throughout that entire show. I don't remember, did that ever come to a head?
No,
that series?
I know there was the one episode where Peggy didn't know and she found out, and like everybody else was like, "You're just realizing that now?" And she's like, "I'm gonna tell Dale." And then like something happened in the episode where she saw how much like Nancy meant to Dale and how Joseph meant to him, and she's decided not to.
Decided not to be a homewrecker. Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Yeah, nothing ever came of it. But
Peggy's probably my least favorite character.
I was gonna say, who's your least favorite? It's definitely Peggy for me. It's the fucking the attitude and like the superiority and shit. I just the more I watch it, the more I'm like, she just gets on my nerves.
Yeah, absolutely. Don't like her, and I have mixed feelings on Khan, because Khan can be absolutely hilarious, and then other times he annoys the shit out of it, but that's what he's supposed to do. He's like a wrestling heel. You know what I mean? So like I respect that character, but sometimes he drives me crazy.
I tell you who I didn't like at first, but I grew to love him was Lucky. I did not like Lucky when he first showed up, which he was voiced by Tom Petty. And
is that the boss? No, it's not.
No, that's Luann's husband, the hillbilly.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that guy.
I didn't like him when he first showed up, but then he kind of grew on me.
I didn't realize he was voiced by Tom Petty.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of, like, big-time musicians and stuff in that show. Like, I know Willie Nelson did a special guest episode.
That means Luann and her husband are both dead.
Yeah.
Damn, son.
So, yeah. Maybe they'll just move them away.
They moved to Saskatoon.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know.
Is it Tom Petty's son that's the lead singer of the Wallflowers?
Yes.
Yeah.
I believe so.
And he kind of sounds like him, so maybe they could get him. I don't know. But
yeah, maybe so.
I don't think that would be a super hard voice to replace, I think. I think a lot of people could pull off Lucky.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you could get Bob Dylan to do it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be too much different.
Or is it not Tice, Bob Dylan's son that's the lead singer of the Wallflowers, isn't it? I got to look it up now.
It might be that they're both in that band. I don't know, because I know that George Harrison's son does some stuff. John Lennon's kids do stuff. Maybe it's Harrison's kid that does the Wallflowers.
No, that's Bob Dylan. It's Jacob Luke Dylan, because he sounds a lot like his dad.
Okay, well, there you go. We were wrong.
Yeah, we were wrong.
Shocker.
It's a shocker, I know, but it happens. Just edit that out. We'll just go back.
I do want to switch up subjects really quickly to something we were talking about right before we go into the rest of our topics and stuff. So, we were talking about how it sucks where sometimes like you'll get like one of your ball hairs will get like caught in your boxers. You pull your boxers down, you yank a ball hair out, right? Like it's awful. So, guys listening, when you're looking at your dick and balls, you know that like skin on your sack that like attaches it to the base of your dick, right there. I used to have that pierced, right? And and you would be surprised how many girls in high school, you have your dick. Nuh-uh, let me see. Oh
yeah, I used to say I wanted to get my dick pierced because it's like, and people would be like, "Why?" I'm like, because 99% of the time when you say I've got a dick piercing, the person you tell is gonna be like, "I want to see it."
Yeah, so dude, so many people have seen that area of my genitalia because sometimes I wouldn't even show them all of it. I would just like pull it out so they could see the piercing because at some point it was like, it doesn't look good enough to show you right now. So you know,
it's a little cold in here. I need to. Let me toast it up real quick.
I got really drunk at one of my buddies' houses one night, and it was really hot in their house. I ended up falling asleep on the carpet in my boxers, right? Yeah, you can see where this is going. And I woke up, and I like had to pee or something, and I went to get up, and I pushed myself up, and when I lifted my hips up, I was quickly yanked back down to the fucking floor, where my hoop thing, it was like a horseshoe, right? Yeah. That shape was caught on the carpet. And I had to reach down there and get it unhooked from the carpet before I could get up. And dude, I had to put like peroxide and Neosporin on it because it tore it. Oh, it was rough, bro. It fucking sucks so bad. So at least ripping out a ball hair doesn't hurt quite that much, I promise.
That's not like I've never went with any piercings. I've never had any, but I did think about getting like my pubic area tattoo with like a skull and have a tongue coming out. Just have the tongue like go down the top of the shaft. Cause I'm like, you're kind of going to get the same result out of that. And then you have the added thing of they'll be like, oh, I kind of want to see that tattoo. But like, well, you got to make me hard first so you can see the whole thing.
Dude at the bar is like, sure, bro, let's go.
And I'm like, hey. $20 is $20,
man. But yeah, man, that would hurt like a motherfucker. Just the piercing hurt like a motherfucker. I'll tell you that much.
I'm curious if like actually tattooing your dick would hurt, because think about it. Like, what have you ever done to your dick that actually hurt? Like, I don't think it works that way. Bro. Like watching Jackass Forever, they literally took Chris Pontius's dick and put it like between two pieces of plexiglass that were shaped like ping pong paddles and squished it down flat. And he's like, it doesn't even hurt. It doesn't. And like I'm sitting there thinking, like, you can pull on that bitch, you can kind of wriggle it and fucking crank it like a hand crank, and it doesn't do anything.
Okay.
But I've never been stabbed in the dick either, so
I was gonna say, take a needle and prick yourself in the dick with it, and then just think about that about 1,000 times.
Well, see, that's the thing about tattoos, though, is no matter how badly it hurts, it's temporary.
Yeah, but so is zipping your dick up in the zipper.
No, dude, what hurts is fucking this shit. Hold on. Like,
chest bone?
Yeah, dude, I have like a full chest piece. I've got 20-something tattoos. I have no idea anymore. But I got this full chest piece, and when he was doing right on my sternum, dude, like I was like shaking in the chair, just like, he's like, dude, you got to hold still. I'm like, I'm not doing that. That's involuntary. I'm like, dude, I'm not going to be pissed. We'll fix it in post. Just like do the best you can. Cause the line work is what sucks. And that's all I could get done at the time. Cause I had to let it heal. And then dude, after I'd shaved my chest to get it done, cause the guy I used to do my tattoos with, we were about efficiency. I was like, man, you know, I want to pay as little as possible for it. So like, I'm going to do the pre-work for you. When I come in, I'm going to sit down. You're going to put a stencil on and start working. I don't want you to have to do any prep work or anything. Dude, I fucking got razor burn. Like fucking my chest turned like purple, dude. It was so fucking bad. Like I'd never had it that bad in my life.
Brutal.
Yeah.
Oh, that would suck. Oh yeah, dude. So I can imagine right there on that chest bone.
I'm healing a tattoo. My chest fucking itches like you wouldn't believe. Like, dude, I was fucking miserable for that week. And I still have to go get it finished. At this point, the line work is kind of faded and shit because that was forever ago, probably 10 years ago. So I'm going to get all that shit like touched up and get all the shading and stuff done. But luckily, you know, I'm fucking broke, so I don't have to worry about it anytime soon.
That's fair. Yeah. Surprisingly, like the tattoos that I have didn't hurt all that bad. Although all my tattoos, other than the one on my chest, like the one on my chest was professionally done. So this one's like pretty and nice. My other 3 were me getting drunk at my friend's house and letting her tattoo me. Oh, yeah. And she was real heavy handed. So like I have like a lot of raised scar tissue on my tattoos. Yeah. You know what I mean? And my arm one, I hit my microphone. My arm one didn't hurt that bad. The one on my shoulder blade, there were areas of it that burned like a motherfucker. But on my fucking calf,
the legs you wouldn't suspect the legs to hurt as bad as they do.
Yeah, on the side of my leg wasn't bad. On the part that creeped over towards the back of my calf and creeped forward towards that shin bone, oh my fucking God, did that hurt. Oh, yeah. And it's like, it was the strangest thing because she'd be focusing on stuff in the middle and it really just felt, you know, it just felt like scraping. And then as soon as she moved over to that tender fucking calf muscle, it was like searing hot needles stabbing into me. I was like, what the fuck?
And the part that sucks the worst is leaving there and then trying to, like, say you drive home and then you try to get out of the car and walk and all those muscles have fucking tightened. All the skin is tightened up from the trauma. And you try to walk on, you're like, oh my fucking God, my leg's gonna rip off. Dude, I've got a voodoo doll tattooed on the front of my left leg, so like right on the shin bone. So you're talking about a couple hours worth of work exclusively on the shin bone. And then my other leg has a wraparound Godzilla versus King Kong sleeve I've started. And there's not as much on the shin bone, but there's a little bit. Yeah, the shin bone, the chest bone, and then right here. So like this one armpit that's area. Under my arm is like getting into the armpit, and that was a little tender and juicy.
Man, I can relate to the leg thing you're talking about, but it wasn't from a tattoo. So I've talked about my friend Mike before. He was fucking crazy, right? Oh, yeah. I think I talked about him more on the Steam Machine podcast. So to bring people up for Yab's Pod, I had this buddy, and he would always get really, really, really drunk. Oh, I've told a story about this dude, but I changed his name during the story, so I'll let you figure out which one it was. So Mike would get real drunk and lose his absolute goddamn mind. Like I'm laying on a couch, just drunk, feeling good, and he gets mad and he starts throwing shot glasses at the wall behind the couch that I'm on.
What the hell?
And I just said, Mike, let me fucking move. And he just stood there staring at me like with this blank stare, but he waited. And I got up and moved, and he continued to break every shot glass in his house by throwing it at the wall. That kind of guy, right? This same night, I watched this dude kick his toilet. He was in his bathroom throwing up, and then he got mad because he missed the toilet, and he kicked his toilet till he broke it off. And then me and Brendan were running around trying to find where the water was at to shut the water off because now the house is flooding. And Mike just takes off into the woods. No shirt, no shoes, just his shorts, just takes off. Like, so that's this kind of guy, right? So we're at his house one night, and he's the type of dude that, like, say you're sitting like 6 feet away from him, he'd be like, hey, you want to see something funny? And he'd just like pull a paintball gun out of nowhere and just pop you 3 times from 6 feet away with a paintball gun, right? So there's one night, it was me, Jeremiah, and Jordan, and we were over there, and this motherfucker just walks into the room and aims a double barrel shotgun at me. And I held my finger up, and I was like, what the fuck? Because I knew he wasn't just going to blast me in the head, right? There was something going on. So he goes, took a couple shotgun shells, took all the pellets and stuff out of them, filled it with wet paper towels. And I'm like, okay. And I said, and you're dead set on shooting me right now? He goes, yeah, I am. And I went, I'm going to need you to shoot me in the ass, Mike. I said, I will let you shoot me in the ass cheek if you promise me that motherfucker is a wet paper towel in there. He goes, no, dude, I swear to God, it's a wet paper towel. I just want to see what'll happen. I knew there was no getting out of this without being shot, so I wanted to be in charge of where I got that at, right? Yeah. So I'm like, so I turned around, I bent over. He's from his kitchen to his living room, probably 10 feet. Yeah. If that. Puts that motherfucker to his shoulder. Boom. All of a sudden, my right leg just kind of just seizes up a little bit. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, oh, the fuck. So he then quickly aims the gun at Jeremiah. Jeremiah's a skinny little dude. He bolts and just runs out the house. Mike takes off after him. So now they're running around Mike's yard. This is the middle of the night in Keystone and just in this neighborhood area. Mike is chasing Jeremiah around his house with a fucking shotgun. while Jordan is getting me to his truck. Now, Jordan drove like this little 2-seater pickup, red truck, like an S10 or something like that. You know what I mean? So he gets me into the truck. I'm fucking limping because I don't know it yet, but I have this bleeding wound on my ass cheek, right? So he gets me into his truck. Jeremiah comes running around the fucking house and just like from 6 feet away from the truck, just jumps and dives into the bed of the truck. And Jordan just hits the gas and we take off through this back trail through the woods that goes back up into this other area in Keystone. And we hear Mike, boom! And there was a dent in the back of Jordan's truck from where this hit him. Now, I want you to think about this. When we were driving away, Mike shot that. It dented the back of his truck. He shot me in the ass with that from 10 feet away. So where it hit me, basically just hit my skin, and that circle it hit me in just pushed inward. Yeah. So it was like it punctured a hole. I just pushed a hole in my ass. So I had my entire ass cheek was purple and blue, and I just had this bloody fucking circle. And every time I'd take a step, bro, yeah, like you said, it's like my muscles would just, nope, for like a week and a half, bro. It was fucking awful. And then they wondered why I stopped going over there and partying with him. And his wife, Megan, who was an absolute cunt, would be like, yeah, you're just a big pussy. You don't want to, you're afraid to get hurt to come hang out and drink with us. Yeah, I am. Go fuck yourselves.
No, he pulled the paintball gun out. He'd had to lose some teeth that night. Like, I wouldn't have made it to the shotgun.
Yeah. Well, I was young and dumb. I was like 16 at the time. So like, this was long before I learned to stand up for myself type like shit. Oh, yeah. But yeah, dude, it was fucking wild over there, bro. And now they're both crazy Trump supporters. Shocker.
Yeah, surprise, surprise.
Which is weird because I've physically seen Mike having sex with men. So I don't get that whole thing, but you know, whatever floats his boat.
Hey, gotta fall for something, I guess.
So before, I know you want to talk about the Depp case, but this jumped out to me more. What the fuck is Yellow Ledbetter? I have no idea what this is that you have on the topics. I need you to tell me.
So I wrote that down. So I love Pearl Jam. Like, you know, they put the song Jeremy out when I was a kid. Yeah. My cousin Chris, I know he listens to this. I think it was at Christmas or something. We went over to their house and he had got that for Christmas, the 10 album. And I saw my name on the back of it. I was like, oh, I want to listen to this album. So I go I think we went to his room and listened to it, and like I fell in love with him. So I love the song Yellow Ledbetter by Pearl Jam. But like, did Eddie fucking break his jaw on the way to the studio to record that song? And they were like, fuck it, last day we got the studio rented. It's the last song on the album. Just fucking record what you can. We'll fix it in post. It's like, you know the song I'm talking about, right?
I think so. Is that like their ballad song?
Kinda, yeah. It's like, but you can't understand a fucking word he's saying the entire song.
Is it the one that's like, what was anything? Do. I'm really bad with Pearl Jam songs, but
I think so. Let me send it to you real quick so you can listen to it. Cause you've heard it, but I'm going to find a YouTube link for you. So I know Spotify doesn't work that well.
It's almost become a meme about the way Eddie Vedder sings. Like, like I love Even Flow, but that's a free land, rock, I lit up in the horn, I made of concrete. Yeah. I'm like, no, what the fuck?
Yellow Ledbetter is worse than that. Like, I got to wait for this American Express ad to end and I can send it to you. But dude, it's just, it's basically, if you look the lyrics up, it's him singing about like standing on his porch, waving at people that are walking by and they don't wave back at him. I don't know if you could hear it on my phone or not, but
yeah, I'm looking it up on YouTube right now. I just switched over my headphones, so hold on one second.
Like, I love
it's exactly the fucking song I'm thinking of.
Yeah. But like,
peace of man.
Yeah, you cannot understand anything. Like, the rest of that album's not that bad. 10 is not that bad. Like, Even Flow is kind of rough, but like most of their songs aren't that bad. Last Kiss you can understand very clearly. But like, what the fuck happened with this one song? It's kind of like Inagata Davida, where it was supposed to be in the Garden of Eden, but dude was so fucking strung out, that's all he can manage to get out. Yeah.
Dude, please try to remind me later on in one of the questions that we have from the listeners to bring up Inagata Davida. That's all. I'll leave it at that for now, but so okay, Pearl Jam, man, like,
Speaking of Inagata Devita, that's one of the best Simpsons episodes too, where Bart switches the fucking hymnals for Inagata Devita, and they're just in church for like 8 minutes singing it.
I don't think I've seen that. That's hilarious.
Oh, I gotta find that clip and send it to you. It is hilarious.
I love The Simpsons, man. People like the shit on The Simpsons, but like I even watch recent episodes and I laugh at them. So,
dude, The Simpsons have always put out quality stuff.
Yeah, man. So, old Johnny Depp, bro. Old Johnny Depp won his case.
He won the case, sort of. I'm glad to hear that. I'm glad to see that because, I mean, at the end of the day, I've talked about it with friends, and I'm positive that they're both probably shitty people. They're rich, they're good looking, and they're celebrities, so all the signs point to they're probably shitty people to be around. But like, there was just so much evidence against her in that case that she just openly lied about that there's no way it could have went her way. I think the judge ruled like $10 million for him in like punitive damages or whatever, and then $5 million in something else. But the judge capped that at $350,000, and then she won like $2 million something from. I think she got $2 million in her countersuit. So I think Johnny Depp ended up with like $8 million that she owes him. So
that's why I can't. I would never be a judge, because I would have awarded like, okay, you get all this money, but she also like she needs to buy you a new set of bed sheets.
Yeah,
like I would just throw in something like that, and it just was like, because that would just entertain me. But like that's not what being a judge is about. So that's exactly why I'm not a judge.
Yep. Like the fucking go back to King of the Hill, the one where like Hank got caught buying crack. Like he tells that guy that was breaking in Hank's truck, he's like, you like breaking in the truck so much, I'm gonna sentence you to live in a truck for a month.
Dude, I forgot about that, where he's using crack and catching fish with it.
Yep.
I wonder if I tried that because of that episode.
Great stuff.
But yeah, man, I mean, I've always liked Johnny Depp. He's always been one of my favorite actors. I didn't even know who Amber Heard was, because I don't watch Marvel movies much, so I don't know. I was just happy that like, I mean, dude, she shit on his bed. Like that's what I keep going back to is like, if I had a girl just shit on my bed, it'd have been over there.
Dude, I think the worst part of that to me was that she shit on his bed, but like she told her friends about it and they were all laughing. Like, dude, if my friend came to me and was like, "Oh shit, my girlfriend's bed," I'd be like, That's kind of weird. You probably shouldn't have done that.
No, dude, you do an upper decker like a fucking adult.
She said it was a prank, guys. Like, no, a prank is like putting saran wrap over the toilet seat so you go to piss and it splashes everywhere. Like, shitting in someone's bed is not a prank.
No, that's ruining some sheets. That's awful.
Yeah.
Because who's going to just wash those and keep using them?
Yep.
I mean, well, I guess, I don't know, kids shit the bed and then, well, that's different. Kids are gross.
This is true.
So I wanted to talk about wrestling to annoy your friend, right?
Yes. So make sure you're listening, Christina.
No, I'm in all fairness, this is just something I've always had in my mind. So, okay, you're familiar with The Undertaker, obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. So, are you familiar with Bray Wyatt?
Yes.
Okay. So, when they had a match at WrestleMania, like years ago now, and it was kind of lackluster. Undertaker goes over, of course, because at this time the streak was still intact, I believe. So I had this idea, and this is before Bray Wyatt came out as the Fiend. So in retrospect, that would work even better. But hear me out. So for that feud, they should have built it up where the whole time Bray, being this like cult leader, supernatural, follow the buzzards guy, right?
Oh, yeah.
He's trying to seek the power of the Undertaker. He wants the power of the dead man. He wants the power from the urn. You know what I'm saying? This is wrestling. This is professional, or this is sports entertainment. Play this shit up. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like, he wants that power. So he takes Kane out. And then you don't see Kane for a while, right? They have a match. Bray Wyatt and his flock just take him out. And then there's a face-to-face in the ring with Undertaker and Bray Wyatt. And Bray Wyatt's sitting there saying, I have the power of your brother. Now I'm coming for your power, yada, yada, yada. Undertaker can say whatever he wants. Bray Wyatt does the arm raise like Kane, drops his arms, boom, fire goes off on the corners of the ring, right? So now you have it. He's got Kane's powers. So you keep building to this WrestleMania match. You get to WrestleMania. They come out. They have their whole shindig. They go into this big brawl. They have it. There's blood. They're fucking fighting. And towards their end, like when you think the match is about over and Bray's looking at Taker, Bray could finish it at any second. Bray drops to his knees like he used to do and hold his arms out and just says, "Take me, Taker. Show me the ways of the dead man." Like, just begging him to take him on, right? So Undertaker stands up and kind of holding his ribs and he's looking at Bray. And there's they just leave that moment for tension where they're looking at one another. Undertaker grabs Bray by the throat. Lights go off. Fire explosion up by the entranceway. Diversion. They slip out of the ring, slide under the ring. Lightning bolt hits the ring. Lights come back on. They're gone. Right? Now you don't see either of them. Undertaker rides off into the sunset, or he comes back as the American badass because he's lost his power.
Yeah.
Bray comes back, and he is now the all-powerful super now. He is the new Undertaker, not the character, but he is that now, the supernatural person. And in retrospect, he comes back as the Fiend. Like, it'd have been fucking awesome. But no, they just had a shitty fucking story that they did. I don't know. It could have been done so much better. It's always bothered me.
So I want to take that idea, but I want to swing your ending a little bit. So I want to say, like you said, Bray Wyatt wants to take Undertaker's power, but he wants to take it from him. He wants to. So like you say, him and Kane have a fight. He does some shit, like you said, lights go out, and I would say Bray grabs Kane, Kane's on his knees, whatever. Bray grabs him by the face. Lights go out. Lights come back on. It's just Bray standing there with Kane's mask in his hand, right? Kane's just gone. So then the feud continues, stretch it over 2-3 weeks, whatever, where Bray has Kane's mask sewn to his chest or hanging around his neck or whatever, right? So then have your WrestleMania match. You've got, Undertaker and Bray, say Hell in a Cell, something like that, something crazy. Yep. Where Undertaker and Bray are just beating the hell out of each other, right? And at one point, Undertaker gives Bray a choke slam through the ring. He goes through the mat to the ground underneath, right?
Okay.
And then, everybody's standing there waiting to see what happens. And like you said, the fucking lights go out. The fucking all four posts shoot the red fire up. And fucking, Kane is just standing there in the fucking hole that Bray went through. And just Bray's gone, you don't see him again for a while. I think that'd be a cool ass ending too. But you're also talking about at least two. You are talking about one wrestler who's no longer with WWE. Two that are ones that says he's retired for good. The other is pretty much retired. I don't think Glenn Jacobs is doing much in ring work anymore.
Oh no! But this happened probably 6 years ago.
Yeah.
So this would have been back then. I think he was only running for mayor back when this happened. I think I could be wrong.
I think that would have been a really cool. I mean, either way would have been super cool. But I think that would have been really cool. It would have been
a better way to do it than they did.
Yeah. Well, the writing hasn't been that great for WWE for a little while. It's starting to pick up a little bit. It seems like.
And it's because they're finally bringing in people like Jeff Jarrett and stuff that they know what the fuck wrestling is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where WWE was on this kick for a long time of bringing in a lot of Hollywood writers. And yeah, that made the promos and stuff sound more professional. Yeah. But you can't count on every wrestler to be a Hollywood great actor to carry out the emotion that these people are looking for. You need people in there who are also in the wrestling business who are this is what makes sense for wrestling. So let's combine this idea that this Hollywood writer has and make it work for a wrestling role. And that's why people like Bruce Pritchard and people like that, I'm happy that they're back in WWE because they can be that little volley of wrestling to the entertainment.
You know what matches I want to see again? Did you watch Ready to Rumble, right? The movie?
Oh my God, dude. The triple cage thing?
The triple cage match at the end of that movie. I want to see matches like that again. Fucking AEW should bring in a triple cage match.
Listen, I want you to go back and on the WWE network. It's on Peacock for everybody that has it. WCW did a triple cage match. I want you to go back and watch that match. And I want you to tell me again, and I want you to watch it again, and then I want you to come back and have the same conversation with me because that match is a bunch of dudes trying not to get hurt.
Well, that's what I'm saying is the WCW one wasn't great, but the one that was actually in the Ready to Rumble movie was great because it was all Hollywood coordinated, so it wasn't actually real. But I feel like the guys they have out there now, you might could get some of those guys to take those scary ass bumps. Like, you know, getting choke slammed through the top of the third cage and falling, 100 feet? Like,
oh, yeah. I think the safest, there's really no safe way to do that, but the safest way to do that would be to, you know, each cage is going to break your fall some, but then you would need like a table underneath that, because those tables that they have, like, while you're going through a fucking table, that's going to break your fall a little bit before you smack that mat. So, and
those tables are pre-cut, so they're giving, they're not adding a lot of resistance to you.
Yeah, and usually you'll see if they're not pre-cut, they have that big metal thing taken off, the big rim that makes it stable. So it's like when you see, it's either that's gone, or when it has that, I can guarantee you, like you said, there's a small cut on those metal things that's going to make it snap right there.
Yep. That's why the tables always break perfectly in the middle.
Yeah, or until you get the ones that just like you land on them and the legs decide to break instead. You're just like, ooh, I bet that hurt.
I always wonder, like the Mankind Undertaker thing, the Hell in the Cell match. I always wondered if they ever set up like the announcer's table with like an airbag underneath it hidden. So like when you fall from that height and hit it, it's like, it looks like you're going through the table, but it kind of cushions your breaks your fall a little bit.
So I actually was listening to a podcast that was talking about that match earlier today. There is no like airbag or anything under there, but when somebody's going to go through a table, they gimmick the table to
they take the bolts out of it. They take all the stuff out of it, so it'll just collapse when somebody gets slammed on it.
And it's a hell of a visual.
Oh yeah,
it's a hell. Anytime somebody goes to the announce table, it's like, oh man.
Now I know there was an airbag for when Shane McMahon like jumped off the what's the fucking entrance thing called? The Titantron. Like he jumped off the Titantron, but he went down in a hole by the stage. So I know there was an airbag down there to catch him.
Yeah, that airbag's name was Big Show.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there was an airbag under him too. Because I don't think Vince is gonna let his son pull something quite that crazy off, but who knows?
Oh fuck, dude! There was that one where I think it was Jeff Hardy climbed up there and did a fucking swanton off that, but he did it. I think whoever he landed on was on a table, so they ended up going through the table, which again breaks some of the fall.
Yep. And what was the one in the back? It was a Kurt Angle flub where it was Shane McMahon. He tried to throw through that wall and like he missed or something.
So it was him and Shane, and they were doing I don't remember if it was an I Quit match or a Falls Count Anywhere match, but yeah, he tried to give him a like belly to belly suplex over his head. Through the glass, and he just hit the glass and it didn't break, and he just fell onto his head. And they apparently Kurt grabbed Shane, and Shane looked up at him and said again, so he grabbed him and threw him again, and he went through it. And then they did that with like 3 different sheets of glass, and it didn't break like 2 or 3 times. So Shane just kept telling him again, to the point that apparently Vince was mad as fuck. Because that's his kid, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because he thought Kurt was just like, oh, it didn't break, I'm gonna do it again. Not real. Shane's like, Shane, I'll give Shane credit, man. He would sell shit. He was not scared of. Yeah. Like Vince had some funny shit he did back in the day. Now, that being said, the Stone Cold fucking Stunner Festival at WrestleMania, man, the fucking stunner like that Vince took was the fucking ugliest stunner I think I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I try to remember that Vince is in his 70s, though. You know what I mean? He's up there. So I give him a little wee, but yeah, it was awful. To the point that Austin was laughing as he was coming down for the stunner. He was already laughing.
Yeah. To be fair, though, like, that whole match was a little cringy to watch it. Because, like, you could see Stone Cold just, like, when he's stomping a mud hole, like, he's moving slow. He is not, like, putting as much effort in. And like you say, he's older. His knees are gone. Like, so I'm like, all right, you know, that's cool. But yeah, it's just like watching him like, man, it just showed me how old this dude is now.
Yeah. But at the same time, bro, like the way that crowd reacted when the glass shattered and he came out. That's what they were looking for. You know what I mean? Yep. That's that nostalgia pop, man. Like,
it was fan service, and it was great. I was there for it.
So
isn't Hell in a Cell is tonight, right?
Is it? Yes. It might be
tonight at 8.
Oh shit! I might have to watch some of that later. speaking of Hell in a Cell, I was listening to Mick Foley's new podcast, which is called Foley is Pod, which is hilarious.
I'm surprised it's not. I'm surprised it's not called "I Only Give One Handshake."
They were talking about the match with Undertaker, and when he came back through the ring, or I'm sorry, when he came back through the curtain, Vince McMahon pulled him aside and said, "Mick, that was the most goddamn impressive and biggest spectacle thing I've ever seen in my life. I don't ever want to see you do anything like that ever again." He's like, "That was cool, but Jesus Christ, don't do that. You're going to kill yourself," type thing.
Yep. And then I know, speaking of the match, because that's one of my favorite matches, when he went through the top of the cell, that apparently wasn't supposed to happen. Apparently, like, the cell just gave away. And like the first time, I think they were planning on him doing it, but it was like going to be in the middle of the ring. Like they had that panel kind of undone a little bit, so it'd be safer. And like he ended up going through like in the corner of the ring.
Well, so the way that I've heard it talked out is that panel, he was supposed to go through the panel, he did, right?
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of zip ties on it, and he was supposed to get choke slammed on it, and then it would give a little bit. And then get up and get choke slammed on it again, and then it would give more, and then the third time it would give fully when he landed on it, and then it would drop him through.
Yeah.
They didn't expect him to go through the first time, so that's why that chair was sitting there.
Yeah.
So when he slammed him and he goes through the first time, he goes through, the chair falls with him, hits him right in the fucking face.
Yep.
Boom. And then he's just laying there on the ground.
Yeah, he said he blacked out for a little bit after that.
The chair put his tooth through his lip into his nose, and he said Undertaker after the match, he went up to him, he's like, "What were you thinking standing up there just looking down at me?" And he goes, "Mick, I'm gonna be honest with you, I thought you were dead." I was like, wow, that's powerful.
Yeah.
And Undertaker's ankle was broken in that match, so when he drops down from the Hell in a Cell and then lets go and lands on his feet, and you watch him shake his leg, that motherfucker dropped down from like 15 feet onto a broken ankle and just shook it off. Like, the Undertaker is such a badass motherfucker, man.
Oh yeah.
Okay, enough wrestling talk for now. I won't bug anybody with more for this week. I'm gonna let you bring up this next one because I'm curious what this is.
This topic I put down, we were a little light for topics this week, and I remember hearing about this earlier this week. One of the original like creators of Xbox or founders of Xbox or something did an interview, and he said that he feels that Game Pass is harmful to the video game industry. And I have some opinions on that. I don't know, you may have some as well. I agree that Game Pass is very consumer friendly. It is probably the most consumer friendly video game thing that's happened since they stopped putting pack-in games with consoles. For those that don't know Game Pass, it's $15 a month. You get your Xbox Gold, which is your online membership. You get probably 200 games that you can play for free as long as you keep that membership in good standing. And it's not just indie titles. There's a lot of indie titles, but you're getting all the Xbox exclusive games day one. So you're getting all your Halos, all your Gears of War, all your Bethesda.
There's also, I just wanted to throw out there, there's a PC version as well, but it's only $9.99 a month. So
yeah, there's a PC version and there's a mobile version and if you pay for the Ultimate, you get all three of them. So, but yeah, you're getting all the Bethesda games day one. So like all your Dooms, your Skyrims, your Fallouts, they're all on there. So it's a hellacious deal. And you're talking about day one games that cost $60 or $70. You can play on Game Pass for free. But what's happening is no one's buying physical Xbox One titles or Xbox Series X titles or whatever. And that's what he's trying to say is it's hurting the industry. And I can see it because as owning a video game store, it's very hard for me to sell Xbox One games. They don't sell very well. I have a few friends that are store managers for various GameStops. They all say the same thing, like Xbox One games don't sell. And I think the reason is even games that aren't on Game Pass, people aren't buying because they're content to just play what's put on Game Pass. They'll say, all right, I want to play Dying Light 2, but it's not on here. I'll just play Gears of War, or I'll play Halo, or I'll play 7 Days to Die or something like that, And like, eventually it'll get put on Game Pass and I'll just play it that way. And I can see that being detrimental to video games because you're not making that money from the software sales. But at the same time, Xbox has, let's see, I want to look the number up because I haven't looked it up in a while. They have a ton of people subscribed. Let's see, number of Xbox Game Pass subs. 25 million subscribers. So see, even at $10 a month, which I think is the cheapest you can pay for it, you're talking $250 million a month. That's $1 billion every 4 months, $3 billion a year. I mean, it's a
lot of money, dude.
It's smart, yeah. It's genius. I mean, if it was a bad idea, PlayStation wouldn't be putting their version out soon, you know. Nintendo kind of has their version with Switch Online where they're doing the NES, the Super Nintendo, the N64, and Genesis titles. And I mean, that's their wheelhouse. That's probably making them a ton of online subscribers just because people are like, oh, I want to play Super Mario 3. I want to play Golden Axe. I want to play F-Zero or Mario Kart 64. So I'll just pay the $50 for a year and I've got online, and you put it on your credit card. You never think about it. The next year comes around and you see your bank account got debited $50 and you're like, oh, well, I forgot about it. I'll cancel it next year, and just a vicious cycle.
Yep. Yeah. My thing with Game Pass is like, so I can't tell you how many times I've started playing a game on Game Pass and went and bought it on Steam because I can't guarantee myself, because I don't have a job right now. Like, I literally, my income is the Steam Machine Patreon, the JRPG Report Patreon, and whatever side work I can get while I'm applying for jobs and stuff, you know? And I can't always guarantee that I'm going to have $50 or no, not 50. I'm sorry, $15 or $10 or whatever in my account to pay for Game Pass. So if I'm in the middle of a game I'm really enjoying, and then all of a sudden my Game Pass is up and I can't play it anymore, 2 Point Hospital, right? I was enjoying that, but I don't have Game Pass now, so I can't play 2 Point Hospital. I would rather wait and save the money and buy those games, so I have them, so I can play them whenever the fuck I want. Like right now, oh, excuse me, sorry, I had a burp come out of nowhere from the depths of my belly. That was weird. Obviously with the Steam Machine podcast, the whole reason I started that show is because I own way too many fucking games. I've bought so many bundles and stuff when I was rolling in dough from work, right?
Oh, yeah.
I could have my internet shut off. Or, no, I'm sorry. Let me say this. I could never buy a game again and probably have games to play for the rest of my life.
Oh, yeah.
Right? But it's the fact of having it just in case. Whereas, like with Game Pass, it's like, oh, well, that's more of like people who are like, I need to play this right now. You know, I have a month to play this game. Where it's like, well, what if I want to play this game a little bit this month and then a little bit next month and everything? So if it takes you 6 months to beat a game, then why didn't you just buy that motherfucker instead of paying for Game Pass? You know, but I'm not against Game Pass. I think that is a wonderful fucking thing. And I think that it's smart of Sony to get their shit together and try to do something similar.
Yeah, I'm wondering how theirs is going to turn out, but we'll see. I've heard that the PS1 games have already been proven to be the same poor emulation they used on the PlayStation Classic, so we'll see.
My biggest thing is I'm going to be curious what they bring to the PC side of it.
Oh, yeah.
Because if there are like PS3 and PS4 games that I can play on PC that aren't available anywhere else, that'd be different. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, obviously PS1, PS2, I just fucking emulate them, or I throw one of my mini discs I have over here to my right into that PS3 over there, and I just play them. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Or I hook up the custom firmware PS3, and I've got anything I could ever fucking want to play on that thing. So it's like, you know, it's just, there are ways. Fuck these big corporations.
Oh yeah.
Not all of them, but like
most of them.
I think I said this last week on the JRPG report. If there's no viable way for you to acquire a game from a company and that company make money from it, right? If the company is no longer selling those games and you can only get them through other ways, but the game is like $1,000. Oh yeah, dude, just if you don't have $1,000, just emulate it. And if you like that game enough to pay $1,000 for it, then by all fucking means, go pay $1,000 for it.
And that's something I'll touch on with Game Pass is it's a very good way for me to, or from my opinion, to get to try indie games that you may not want to pay $20 for, but you're like, it's on Game Pass. I'll go check it out. And maybe you fall in love with it. And like you said, a lot of people will do it. They'll play it on Game Pass and they'll say, oh, I love this. I want to get it on my Switch, or I want to get it on my PC or whatever. And they'll go buy it and play it on there instead.
Absolutely, dude. It's a great way to demo these games. And you might play through the whole thing, or you might play enough that you're like, I'd like to own this and get all the achievements and stuff for it. And so it's quite good for that. It's like some computer games, I'll pirate them and play like an hour or two, maybe 3. And if I like it, I'll go buy it. And if I don't like it, I don't go buy it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. It's been a long time since I've actually like downloaded and pirated a game and then beat that game. It's like I always just do that to try it. I'm like, I just want to see what this game's like before I spend hard-earned money on it. That's all.
Yep. Because I mean, back in the day, you had to spend $50 on an N64 game, and if it sucked, it just sucked. There was nothing you could do about it.
That's why I really liked. Oh, go ahead.
You couldn't take it back to the store or anything. So
yeah, that's why I really liked PlayStation Magazine.
Oh yeah,
because it would come with those demo discs.
Oh yeah,
and you got to play these demos, dude. I can't tell you. I wish I still had. I hope I have them somewhere. I have a whole stash of PS1 and PS2 demo discs from those magazines back in the day, and some of them I played to death, and I never actually got to play the games. Like Medieval is a perfect example. I have that on my PlayStation 3 now, and I've been playing around with it here and there. But when I played through that first level, I knew where everything was at. Because I played the shit out of that first level on that demo.
Dude, my little delinquent ass would go in the Food Line grocery store and they'd polybag the demo disc in with the magazine and it'd be on the magazine shelf. I'd fucking just take my fingernail, slit the poly bag open, just slide the disc out, sneak it in my pocket, go home, just being a fucking delinquent kid.
I had a subscription. That was the one magazine I got per month. You know what I mean? I also got a Boys Life, which was a Boy Scout magazine, but we didn't have to pay for that one. I just got it. Which Courtney was surprised to hear that I was a Boy Scout.
I think we all were in the South, though.
Yeah, it's a very common thing down here. Did I tell the story about how I got kicked out? Did I actually go into the story? Well, I'll tell it again. Fuck it. So we were at a campsite, or we were at a camp out here at Goldhead down the street from me, and we had chili. I'm gonna sum the story up in case I've told it before. So we had chili. Me and Alan were in charge of cleaning the chili the pot of chili after we were done. So we put water in it, rinsed it out, sprayed it, rinsed it out again, filled it with water, and put it over the fire to boil, right, to loosen up the stuff that had caked on the sides. And then we set it aside. Well, we didn't go back over there and immediately start cleaning it again. We were going to have s'mores and stuff and then go over there and do it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we had a new scoutmaster, and he was still trying to be I'm new here and I'm in charge, yada, yada, yada. And his son was part of our troop now, and he was a shithead. He ratted us out for talking about Miles was telling us his first experience with a girl, and we were like, how was it, man? And Cody went back and told his fucking dad about it, which, whatever. Anyway. Oh, let me revert real quick. When we first got there, we were like, all right, where's the water? Because our old scoutmaster would always pack 2 or 3 big cooler, not coolers. What are they, the igloo things?
Yeah, the water coolers.
Yeah. It's 2 or 3 of those full of water, and if we needed to refill them, we'd go refill them or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And the scoutmaster's like, no, y'all are in charge of that. Where's all that? Where's your stuff? And we were like, well, you could have told us that before we came here, and we would have actually brought things, if you would have told us that. So I called my dad and I said, hey man, we don't have any drinks out here. Could you do me a solid? He's like, I got you covered, man. My dad shows up with a fucking cooler, a big ass cooler full of sodas and water bottles and stuff. Right.
Oh, yeah.
So his name. Okay. So legitimately my scoutmaster, everybody called him Sparky. Right. So that's what I'm going to call him, Sparky. And the other guy who we called Ranger Dick, my dad called him Ranger Dick. It was this other dude who was a scoutmaster from Tampa who was there for the first day to help get things set up and whatever. It was a big stupid thing. All of us were really missing our old scoutmaster at this point, right? So anyway, Ranger Dick comes over, looks in the cooler, sees that there's soda in there, and says, nope, soda's not allowed. And my dad called me over because my dad was walking away and kind of heard this, right? So my dad called me over and he just said, if you have any problems, you call us, because Goldhead's like 15 minutes down the road.
Yeah.
He goes, if you call us and one of us will come pick me or your mom will come get you, right? I was like, okay. I kept that in mind. So Ranger Dick or me and Alan go to take my cooler over by my tent, right?
Oh yeah.
And the guy goes, nope, you're not taking that over there. He's like, you're not allowed to have sodas. And I'm like, for one, I'm thinking, who the fuck are you to tell me what I can and can't drink on a camp out? Like, go fuck yourself, right?
Yep.
So they take my cooler and put it by the adults tent. So that was how this whole thing opened. Now flash forward back to where we did the chili thing. So Scoutmaster calls a meeting. We all sit around the fire and he starts just going off about how we're all terrible Boy Scouts and how we're not prepared at all. And we don't even know how to clean a pot properly. He was mad because me and Alan had taken a break from cleaning is what it was. Oh, yeah. Right. So this dude turns around like he's going to walk away, and he turns back around and he goes, oh yeah, and another thing, we're not going to call our daddies anytime we're a little thirsty. Got it? And at this, at this point, I was boiling, right? At this point, I just went, screw you, dude. And I was trying to watch my language, right? Oh, yeah. And he goes, excuse me? And I said, no, dude, you have no reason to bring my dad into this. You're just being an asshole. And he is like, you can't talk to me like that. I lost it. I'll talk to you however the fuck I want to. I was like, fuck you, dude. You don't fucking talk about my dad like that. He starts walking towards me. I'm like, dude, do not come fucking near me. I will knock your ass the fuck out. Boy, you don't have the capability to knock me out. Well, I started taking off towards him at that point. So I had 3 of my fucking friends that were in the Boy Scouts with me holding me back, right? 3 of them. I was mad as fuck. I'm a big dude, right? I'm mad as fuck. And he goes, you need to call your parents. You're out of here. I'm kicking you out of the troop, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, go fuck yourself, you fucking piece of shit. I might have said some words to him that I wouldn't say these days, you know? Oh, yeah. But so I'm walking off. I punch a tree. I'm so mad. I just, boom, punch this tree. Go into my tent, call my mom. My dad is playing a show. Like, my dad's playing a concert. He's a musician. And I call my mom, and she's like, hold on, I got to go outside. I can't hear you. She goes outside. I'm like, come get me now. And I guess the way I said it, she was like, okay, I'll be right there. I tell Alan, because Alan was bunking with me in the tent. I said, bro, I'm going to leave my tent. I trust you to sleep in it, take care of it. And all. He's like, dude, I got you. No worries at all. So what was the first thing I went and did? I went and got my cooler, took my cooler over, because they had taken all the water bottles out of the cooler and put them in with the food cooler that we had. So all of our bread got soggy from sitting next to water bottles that were cold and condensation and shit. These fucking idiots. Anyway, I went and grabbed my cooler and I went out to the road and I loudly just cracked open a Coke and started drinking it. Miles and Alan come walking up. I throw them some sodas. We're sitting there. We're drinking. My mom shows up. I load the cooler up. We leave. So as we're leaving, I get a phone call from Alan. Hey, man, just so you know, he called the cops on you. What? Yeah, he called the cops. They're on their way now. All right. So, granted, again, I'm a big dude, but I was gone. They had no visual of me. So they show up, and Alan calls me the next day, and he's fucking in tears laughing, telling me this. He goes, the cops showed up, and we're listening to this grown-ass man telling him that he called the cops because one of his Boy Scouts was trying to beat him up. And the cops were like, okay, yeah, we'll look into that. Yeah, one of your Boy Scouts were trying to beat you up, sir. Okay, yeah, we'll check into that. So at the end of the weekend, we get a phone call. And my dad never really did anything like this back in the day. And he picks it up, and it's Sparky. Yeah. And he's like, is this Mr. Suter? Yes, it is. Hi, this is Robert Milam. That's his actual name. If you want to send him hate mail, fuck him. I don't give a fuck. My name is Robert Milam, and I'm the head of the Boy Scout troop that your son is a part of. And after the events of this weekend, we think, we had a discussion as troop leaders, and we don't think that Dalton should be in the troop anymore. We're revoking his, Boy Scout, whatever. And my dad goes, oh, okay, I guess there's no reason for me to be talking to you then. And he just hangs up, and then he just points at the phone with a middle finger and goes, fuck you, you motherfucker. Because I was a star. No, I'm sorry. I was a Life Scout. So like I was about to be Eagle. Yeah. But I was so close to being 18 because I think I was like 17 at the time that I didn't have time to get into another troop and then do an Eagle project and all that. So I never got Eagle Scout, even though I was this close. because of my temper. But you don't talk about my family, man.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I was in Boy Scouts, but I didn't go with it that far. I've got a kind of a similar story, but it was like a youth trip with the church. And so we like all went to this like a derelict neighborhood. We were staying in some like gym and doing like going around helping people in the neighborhood and shit like that, right?
Yeah.
So we get on the bus or whatever we were taking, and the preacher tells us while we're already on the bus headed down there, oh, by the way, you can only listen to Christian music while you're on the trip. So like we had already packed all our shit. So like me and my cousin had our, our Walkmans and all that stuff. She had that DMX, like and then there was X album.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm listening to Eminem, she's listening to DMX and shit, but we're just pretending like, it's no big deal. And dude, so we get we're staying in like like sleeping on a basketball court or whatever, right? Got all our stuff in bags. Like the girls have one room and the boys have a room, sort of. Dude, he comes out and talks to us, like me and my female cousin, and he's like, I want to talk to you about the music you're listening to. And she's like, what are you talking about? He's like, I went in your bag and I found this CD and I put it in and I thought it was good Christian music because and then there was X album. The first track is him saying a prayer. So he like listens to the prayer. He's like, I thought it, and then I heard the next song and you're not allowed to listen to this music. And she's like, why the hell did you go through my bag? Like, she's a teenage girl. You're talking about like a 50-year-old man went through her bag while she wasn't there and took stuff out. She flipped the fuck out. And like, he realized the mistake he had made when she started flipping out. And, but then he's like, okay, since y'all wanted to listen to this stuff, nobody's allowed to listen to music on this trip anymore. And I was like, we'll see about that.
What the fuck, dude? People are so dumb. Dude, that's like, my mom will be like, go get me my credit card out of my purse, and I will just bring her purse. I'm like, I'm not going through your shit.
Yeah, I don't go through purses. It's weird to me.
No, dude. When I was with Savannah, she'd be like, get me something out of my purse. I'd bring her purse, and she'd get fucking mad. And I'd be like, look, I'm not going through your shit. Like, I'm not going to do it. It's a respect thing. I'm just not going to do it. No. Oh, okay. So you have this, and I have a couple in mind, brother. So what sparked movies with great endings?
So I posted something in the Discord earlier today. It was a memory I had from a Facebook post, and it was like a piece of paper somebody had hung in their office window that said like, before you come in to talk to me, and it had like a list of bullet point stuff like, had a good Memorial Day, had a good 3-day weekend, grilled, drank beer, blah, blah, blah. And then at the bottom, it's like, no, I don't want to talk about anything. I hate this job, but because of child support and student loans, I'm stuck here. And like underneath it, it's like, if I could go back and do it again, I would have just killed myself in the womb, like the director's cut of Butterfly Effect. And somebody in the group, let me look and see who it was, because I'm pretty sure they're listening. But my brain,
it was Jeff.
I think so. But Jeff. My brain doesn't work. So, where did I post that? Maybe it wasn't. It was in
general chat.
Yeah. Let me find it. It was Adam. Adam.
Agreed. I was wrong.
Yeah.
Fuck you, Jeff.
Yeah, Jeff, this is your fault.
Yeah, Jeff.
Adam talked about how the director's cut was the first version he watched. And he was like, why do people hate the ending of this? It's so great. So, spoiler alert.
That's the only version I've seen too, is that's the ending of it.
I saw both. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the Butterfly Effect, jump forward a few minutes. The movie is basically a kid starts having blackouts, and then as he gets older, he realizes that his blackouts are his future self going to the past and changing things. So like the whole movie, he's like, as he's older, he's going back to his childhood, changing things, trying to like, cause he had a shitty childhood, and like his best friend, this little girl he loved, had a shitty childhood too. So he keeps going back trying to fix their childhoods, but then like it always makes things worse as they're older. So then like the original theatrical ending was he has like one chance to go back, and he goes back to the little girl's birthday party. And when he first met her, and he like leans over and whispers in her ear, he's like, fuck you, don't you ever fucking talk to me. I don't want to see you ever again. And like basically just tells her to fuck off. She's like starts crying and stuff. He comes back to the future and like everything's fine. He sees her on the street and like she doesn't recognize him or know who he is. So he's like, okay, good. Like I fixed it. Well, the director's ending was he goes all the way back to when he's in his mother's womb and he takes his umbilical cord, wraps it around his neck and chokes himself to death.
Yeah.
That ending is so great because if you pay attention at the start of the movie, his mom had like 5 miscarriages. So it kind of ties that into the point that they weren't miscarriages. It was her kids literally having this power they got from their dad, going back in time and killing themselves in the womb. Like it made the movie like a million times darker, and it just, to me, it's one of the best endings in cinematic history.
Yeah, that's the only ending I've ever seen for that, and it was on FX. I should probably actually watch the unedited version of that movie sometime.
That movie is amazing. The theatrical ending's not bad, but it's kind of like I Am Legend had the same problem.
God, I hated the end of that movie.
See, and that's the thing. The theatrical ending to I Am Legend, spoilers if you've never seen the movie, watch some fucking movies. These movies have been out for a while. The theatrical ending of the movie, they're locked in that like whatever plexiglass cell that they're in, right? And he's got the main zombie whatever's girlfriend on this where he was trying to figure out a cure for the disease. He like opens the door and gives the girlfriend back, and the zombies just kind of fuck off, and him and the girl and the kid get to a safe zone. Decent ending, but it's not that great. It's not epic. Whereas the director's cut ending, so much better. Basically what happens is he gets the woman and the child, they go in the little like escape tunnel and they get out of the room, whereas he cooks a grenade, opens the door, lets the zombies come in on him, and just lets the grenade go and blows them all up. The girl and the boy go find the safe zone and they tell his story, hence making him a legend, which makes the title I Am Legend make sense.
Yeah.
Whereas if he lives, he is not a legend.
I mean, also, he was kind of the bad guy in that movie. Like, in a way. Like, I mean, they just wanted that fucking female vampire back. Like, he just kidnapped her. Like, if he just, or vampire zombie, whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah, whatever they were. Because, like, they were hurt by sunlight, so I feel like they kind of mixed a few monsters in together to make these things that were in that movie. I love that movie. Like, that was in that era of Will Smith acting where he was, like, everything he did was fucking gold. I Am Legend, was it Hancock?
Wild Wild West.
Wild Wild West. Like, dude, those movies Hancock, to me, is one of the most underrated movies on the planet. Because anybody who hasn't seen Hancock, go watch it. It's basically, what if Superman was just a righteous dick that was like, I don't owe anybody fucking anything. And like, dude, the unedited version of it, there's a scene where like he takes some chick from a bar or something back to his trailer. She's like riding him, and he's like, oh God, I'm about to come. He's like, move. And like he throws her off of it, and then it shows like an aerial view of the trailer, and you just see like poop, 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 like fucking a bunch of holes pop in the roof of the trailer.
That's awesome.
Oh, dude, that movie is great.
I think I need to go back and watch it because it's been years since I've watched it, but the movie that fucked me up back in the day was Mystic River.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Oh man, there's just so many twists and turns in that movie. It's like a serious drama type movie, but highly recommend it to anybody who's looking for a movie that's just gonna fuck you up.
Oh yeah. But as far as like movies with great endings, of course the director's cut of Butterfly Effect, the new M. Night Shyamalan movie, Old, that had a really good ending.
I've never even heard of it.
I think it came out this year, or maybe late last year, but I think it was this year, and it's pretty good. Like, I'm not big on M. Night Shyamalan movies because most of the times his twists are kind of corny to me. But like this one, it was pretty good, and the ending of it was very satisfying.
Yeah, I liked The Village back in the day, but that was like one of his big first ones. So.
Yeah, I didn't like it though, because I was like my buddy said with The Village, if this was actually happening, they would have seen airplanes flying by, like fucking drug addicts would have been wandering through that park to try to find somewhere to get high and fuck. Like, they wouldn't have been just able to be secluded like that. But
you never know. You never know.
Nah. There is no hiding in 21st century. Not in America, though.
Movie with a great ending. Shawshank Redemption.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
I love that movie, dude. It just the way that they pull that poster off in the end, and there's that hole that he'd been digging the whole time, and he crawled through shit, but he got out. He's safe. It's fantastic, dude.
You know what might be slightly better than the actual Shawshank Redemption? The Family Guy episode of Shawshank Redemption. Did you see that?
That was pretty good.
I love, you're talking about the poster part. I love at the end of that where he's super pissed off. He throws a rock and it's like a poster of like fucking Sonny Bono or something.
It's the woman from 10,000 BC. Oh, no. In the actual movie, it was the woman from 10,000 BC.
Yeah. But no, in Family Guy, it's like Sonny Bono or somebody. He's like turned around with his ass sticking out. Like he throws the rock and it like goes right through where his asshole would be. And the warden like walks over and like sticks his finger in the hole and like pulls it out, sticks it in a couple of, then like shoves his whole fist through and they pull the poster away.
Fucking Family Guy's ridiculous.
Oh my God. Yeah.
I don't know, man. I'm not a huge movie person. Like, I do like movies, but I'm much more of a series type guy.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of anything with truly exceptional ending, and I feel like I've covered most of the really big ones.
Yeah. I'll call it a movie. The last season of Black Mirror that they had put up on Netflix. The final episode was like an hour and 45 minutes long or something like that.
Which one was it?
It was the mechanized bees were like, dude, go watch that motherfucker. The ending of that, you're like, God
fucking
damn.
Love that episode where it's like
that whole show
where like people were fucking like voting on whether somebody got killed or something, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was the hashtag. They started a hashtag thing, and it was just how cancel culture and things like just pile on, and the internet just because you can say whatever you want because there's no repercussions.
Yep.
But in that episode, there were repercussions.
Yes, there were. Fucking big time.
Yeah, his whole spoilers for this episode. If you've so we can discuss the ending of it. Skip ahead a couple minutes. When he just changes the way he looks because he had done the hashtag himself, and then he sets that program to kill anyone who had ever played that game that he had going.
Yep.
And that final scene of that chick in the courtroom, and they're talking about how many people had died from that. I was like, holy fucking shit, dude.
Yeah.
So good. So good. And then there's another interesting fact. There's an episode of Black Mirror. It's called The Black Museum.
Oh, yeah. I love that one, too.
So the story about the doctor who would wear the hat and he experienced death and he kept wanting to get that rush, you know what I mean?
Yep.
That certain thing. That was written by Penn Jillette.
Nice.
Just random fact. Penn and Teller. It was written by Penn.
Dude, one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror, I think it's called White Bear. It's the one with where
they're in the cabin?
Where the girl wakes up in the apartment. She doesn't know where she's at and she's running around. There's people just filming her the whole time.
Yeah.
And she's like, what the fuck is going on? Why are y'all fit? Because like there's like killers chasing her, and like everybody she meets, they end up getting killed. And she's like, why are you just filming this? Why aren't you helping me? And then like, spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the episode, she had killed somebody or something, and this was her punishment. Was basically every day they like drugged her at the end of the day, put her in this apartment and set up this whole scene. And so she was basically tortured every single day, and all the people with cameras were like, it was a theme park and people were allowed to come visit the theme park. But it was like, you can't talk to her. You can't help her in any way. You can't say or do anything. You just stand there and record on your phone. And like, dude, that would be a fucking fitting ass punishment for shit like that.
It would be, but that's also commentary on today's society where like people see something happening and their instinct is to pull their phone out and record it.
Oh yeah.
Instead of like going to help. You know what I mean? Like it's fucking that show's brilliant. We could do a whole entire goddamn episode on Black Mirror.
Oh yeah. If you haven't watched Black Mirror, definitely watch it. It's like, you don't have to watch it in any particular order because each episode is kind of like Dalton said, it's a mini movie. They're usually like 30 to an hour and a half long.
Yeah.
They're all like twist ending kind of things. Shut Up and Dance is might be my favorite. It's got the kid from End of the Fucking World, the one where he's like locks himself in his room, starts jerking off, and then he gets a message. And the guy's like, I recorded what you did last night. Unless you want me to release it to the world, you got to do this for me.
Oh my God, what a fucking intense fucking episode that was.
I'm going to put that on the list of great endings too, because the ending of that was like, holy shit, that was a roller coaster of a ride.
Yeah.
Dude, yeah, we might have to do like an extra BS episode on just Black Mirror. I want to go through and watch them all again.
I was going to say, I'll rewatch them, yeah.
There's a couple that are like, okay, none of the episodes are bad to me. I think they're all, at least a couple are okay, but most of them are fucking amazing.
Yeah. Fair warning for anybody who's like, I'm going to start Black Mirror. The very first episode is bizarre.
It's bizarre and it's very fucking bizarre.
But you will know by the end of that. Well, I take that back. Watch the first 2 episodes because the first episode you're probably going to be like, "What the fuck was that?" Watch the second episode, and then you'll kind of see what this show's going for. Where it's like technology is the ultimate enemy.
Oh yeah,
really.
And like I said, even if you're like, I kind of want to try it out. If you really want to see the best of the best, watch 1 or 2 of the episodes that we've discussed here. Yeah. Like that is. Oh no, my favorite is the fucking the playtest episode. The fucking dude he signs up for that VR playtesting job, and they put him in that old mansion by himself.
That's right.
I forgot about that. Yeah, watch playtest. Start it and watch playtest. And if you like playtest, watch the rest of Black Mirror.
Yeah. We'll. I'm gonna watch through them again. So maybe we'll do some side episodes talking about. Maybe we'll break it down by seasons or something.
Oh yeah.
Because there's so much to touch on with those shows.
I haven't done Bandersnatch yet, and I kind of want to do it because I heard it's really good.
If that's still available, because I know there were some issues with them being sued for that. But if Bandersnatch is still available, dude, it's a fun ride. I went through and got like all the different endings and stuff that I could.
Oh yeah.
And it took a total of probably about 2 hours to see everything, and what a ride, bro.
And I want to say, for anyone who's unfamiliar, Bandersnatch it was like the first of its kind of. It's a streaming choose your own adventure story where it's a movie, but you pick different things, and the choices you make affect the outcome of what happens. And like, what's funny is they were saying like, oh, if you pick something and you try to rewind, it knows you rewound and it will change the story because you tried to rewind.
Yeah. It also like, you'll get to points in Bandersnatch where it'll end, but it'll ask you if you want to go back, and it'll take you back, and then it keeps track of all the times that you go back and stuff, and it's really cool. Definitely. We'll check out Black Mirror and get back to talking about that at some point soon, because like I said, I need to rewatch them. But so what's your song of the week this week, my brother? Before we get into some community questions, my stomach is growling at me, so I'm gonna move things along.
Yeah. So my song this week is hang on. Let me make sure I say the title right. It is Screwing You on the Beach at Night by the Bloodhound Gang. I don't know if you've heard the song or not. Specifically, the Kate May I remix of the song. I fucking love the Bloodhound Gang. I think they're one of the fucking greatest bands. I put them in this genre with like Manson and Primus. It's like what I call weird music, where it doesn't really fall in a traditional genre. It's just kind of weird shit. So, like, but this song is great because it's like Jimmy, who's the lead singer of Bloodhound Gang. It's kind of almost like an 80s song, but he's basically singing about how, like, the chorus is, fucking's cool, but Jimmy's the romantic type. And like, he's talking about how romantic he is. And he's like, one line is like, talking to something about, could you believe you found a guy with such a sensitive ponytail that can distract an aggressive hawk that's cornered you? Like, dude, it's just the fucking most wild, outrageous shit. Like, but it's such a fucking fun song to listen to.
Oh yeah, dude, I love Bloodhound Gang. That's good shit.
If I need a pick me up, like, I put one of their fucking songs on, and it's just, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like the Ballad of Chasey Lane. Like, I fucking love that song. That shit picks me up whenever I'm feeling blue.
Man, I didn't put any thought into this, so I'm just gonna pull a song out of my ass. "Twilight of the Thunder God" by Amon Amarth.
Nice.
Just fucking rocks. Blistering drums and guitar to start off, and I mean it's about Thor, so.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's just fucking good shit. Amon Amarth's great, dude. Viking metal all the way.
Now let me ask you this: do they know how to play their instruments?
Yes, very well.
Okay.
Actually, one of the coolest things ever, when I won my Jaeger guitar, they were the opening band on the main stage, and we were playing before them. So, like, while I'm up there playing this guitar solo and stuff, behind me is the front of a Viking ship, because their drum set is set up on a Viking ship, like the hull. I guess it'd be the hull or the stern. I don't remember, whichever one. The front of it. So there's just this big fucking ship thing on the stage behind me, and it's like, this is so cool. This is so cool. Yeah, I love Amon Amarth. They're good. They're good stuff.
Nice.
All right. So, community questions. Don't have many, but we got some good ones this week. One from my co-host, actually three from my co-host from the Steam Machine podcast, Willie. He's getting it in this week.
Willie is on it this week.
His first question is, what is your favorite planet?
So I took this a little bit further. We talked about it before the show. I'm going to say, let's pick our favorite planet, and let's pick our favorite fictional planet. My favorite real planet, I'd probably have to say Mars. I always loved, I thought Mars was super cool as a kid. I thought Martians were cool, the whole vibe around it. I think it's probably the most habitable planet in our solar system outside of Earth. It would take a fucking lot to get there. Speaking of, there's a game on Steam I actually own called Mars Simulator, I think, or Surviving Mars.
Oh, Surviving Mars, okay.
I have that. I love that game. It's fucking amazing. If you ever want to download that and play together, I'm fucking down for some co-op. It's basically Sim City on Mars.
Oh, that's what's up.
I'm down.
That's I have Civilization Beyond Earth.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all this, but they're not real planets. They're just alien planets. But yeah, it's the same thing where it's just super fun. If I was going to pick a real planet, Saturn.
Saturn's pretty cool.
Saturn's the coolest looking planet.
Oh, yeah.
I love its rings. And Tool has that song, The Grudge is what it's called, The Grudge, that talks a lot about Saturn and stuff. And it's just always been one of my favorite planets. Plus, I like the name Saturn. I wouldn't drive a Saturn, but I mean, I like the name Saturn. It's just, I don't know, it's cool.
Yeah, it's not a bad one. So, fictional planet.
Mine would be Omicron Persei 8, sir.
Nice. So I had a few I wrote down, and I was also thinking of planets that I would want to visit or live on or something. I think Coruscant from Star Wars would be kind of cool because it's super technologically advanced as far as visiting there.
Yeah.
Pandora from Avatar. Pretty cool.
From Borderlands. I was like, why would you want to go there? Okay.
No.
Yeah. Avatar. Yeah, that's much more
it's really pretty. But I think about places like Pandora and Dagobah and, places like that. Think about the fucking bugs and shit you would have to deal with in these swampy tropical planets. I don't know. I'm an indoor cat, so I don't know if I'd like it. And I also put down Ego, which is it was in the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 movie. It's actually a Marvel character who is a living planet. And basically Ego can create things on the planet the way you want them to be and stuff, so that'd be kind of cool. But Ego's kind of a backstabby douche too, so got to be careful how long you don't wear out your welcome while you're there.
Yeah. I can think of one more. But it's funny that his name is Ego and he would stab you in the back. Who would have thought?
Yeah, who would have thought? Who'd have thunk?
Nirn, which is the planet that the Elder Scrolls games takes place on, is Nirn. I'd like that.
Do you really want to go run away from dragons and shit though? Get stabbed by lizard people?
I wouldn't go to Skyrim.
Okay.
I would go to Cyrodiil, the Imperial City.
Oh, dragons fly and shit.
Yeah, but they stay in Skyrim. Go play Oblivion. Go play Oblivion.
You
Hey,
think you think they stay in Skyrim? They might have just been vacationing there.
Nah. But that or like Valenwood, they haven't done any games in Valenwood yet. I think you can go there in Elder Scrolls Online. It's big forest. It's where the wood elves are from. You know, elsewhere, where the Khajiit are from, like the deserty tropical paradise area. That would be cool. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, you don't have to go to Sky. That's one thing about Skyrim is like, I love that game to death, but goddamn, it's just like mostly snow. And then like, I really enjoy the areas that aren't snow because it's beautiful. You know what I mean? It's like, that's why I hope the next game, while I know it's not going to be Valenwood, I hope eventually we do get an Elder Scrolls Valenwood game because I want to see what they can do with a fantasy forest.
Oh, yeah.
You know, give me bioluminescence, give me big giant fucking trees, give me bushes and pretty flowers, and just give me the fantasy forest I want.
Giant spider monsters and shit.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. Like, where you look up and there's these massive trees and there's a fucking huge web and there's just this big ass spider.
Now, I will say, because you know me, I have not played any Elder Scrolls games because, I mean, they're hard to look at. They're like Deadpool. They're hard to fucking look at now. They're not pretty on console. I know PC, you can do all kinds of mods and shit. On console, they're ugly. Like I said, I tried to start Skyrim like within the last year, and I got like basically through the fucking breaking out of prison and the tunnels and shit at the beginning. And I was like, this is boring. I don't want to do this anymore. That being said, since the new one will be next gen, it will be probably Unreal Engine 5. It will be fucking gorgeous. I'll probably try it out.
That's all you can do, man.
And if it sucks to me, like I said, I don't like to say things suck, but if I don't like it, I'll just bitch about it on the podcast.
Yeah, there you go. And I'm going to like it no matter what.
If we still have a podcast in 27 years when that game finally comes out.
Oh, man. Yeah. I got my fingers crossed that it'll happen in my lifetime at least. Willie's second question.
Now, I will say before we move on, Willie said Earth was excluded from the list of planets we could choose. I'm going to say Earth may be my least favorite planet because that's where all the assholes live. Like, there are no assholes in the rest of the entire solar system except here.
That we know of.
Yeah.
It would be funny if you land on like Jupiter and the first person you meet's like, who are you? Go fuck yourself. Why are you talking to me? You're like, God damn it. It's the same everywhere. It really is the same everywhere.
He just comes up, kicks you in your shins, like, get the fuck off my lawn. You're like, oh shit, I'm getting out of here.
I told my grandpa, I'm like, dude, I want to get out of fucking Keystone, man. I hate this place. And he's like, well, people are the same everywhere you go. And I'm like, yeah, but I could move to somewhere where there are less racists and stuff. Yeah. I could at least minimize that a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, Willie's second question. Are there any other frequent culprits from your local road assholes?
So yeah, we talked about this in the last episode, the episode before, talking about, you know, the worst drivers on the roads. I say any luxury small SUV drivers like Lexus and Mercedes and BMW SUVs. I will add to that list guys in jacked up trucks.
I was about to say the same thing.
Especially younger guys in jacked up trucks.
There is no fucking reason that your truck should be so goddamn tall that your headlights are coming through the back window of my Explorer.
Yeah.
And blinding me. Like, what the fuck?
I go to Walmart one night and there's two of them parked like 3-4 like parking aisles apart, fucking revving their engines at each other. And it's like, really, like, are your dicks so small that you have to spend all your free time burning gas in a Walmart parking lot to, like, prove your dominance?
I literally, anytime somebody drives by with a really loud muffler on their truck, I just say to myself, sorry about your dick, bro.
Yeah. I started yelling it when they drive by. I'm like, sorry about your small dick.
I'll tell you, excuse me, around here, I don't know if you deal with this up there much. They call it either the Bradford Sag or the Palatka Lean or whatever the fuck they want to call it around here. It's stupid as fuck. The people that jack their truck up and then they lower the back end.
The Carolina Squat is what they called it up here. And
it's so fucking dumb.
I hate it, but North Carolina made it illegal at the end of last year.
Good for them.
We don't have that here anymore because they made it where you can only, the front and rear suspension can only be so many inches apart or like 2 inches difference or something.
My whole thing was like, I get that they're trying to go for the hot rod look, but A, hot rods did it the other way, and B, they did it because their back wheels were bigger than their front wheels. Like, that was the whole fucking reason for that. They didn't just do it because they were like, oh, this looks cool. It looks like my truck's squatting down to pee like I do.
Yeah. Like, looks like my truck is tucking tail and running away.
It's stupid. Fucking stupid.
I never liked that up here.
And then there was guys around here too that were doing this thing where they would take a pickup truck and they would cut the top of it off and lower the top so it made the top look squished down, and then they would get their truck and lower it as close to the ground as possible. And I'm like, dude, you know how many fucking road bumps and stuff there are around here? You can't drive. There's dirt roads.
I can't say shit because I was a mini trucker back in the day. But
what the fuck? I don't get it. But dude, up there though, I don't know how it is where you live, but around here,
it's probably not any better.
There are more dirt roads around here than there are concrete roads. And then we have speed bumps everywhere because there's like schools and stuff. And it's like, how do you drive?
Mini trucking, you got to hit that speed bump at a fucking like diagonal.
A snail's crawl.
You got to hit it to where your front tire, the first tire hits it. And then by the time the second front tire hits, the first rear tire is hitting it too. So you kind of teeter totter over it.
That's too much fucking work for me, bro.
Now, like when went to the movies the other night to see Doctor Strange, and the way to get to my theater from where I'm at, you like go like across the highway or across technically the highway, and turn left into this shopping center. So we're stuck behind this pickup truck. I'm like, my buddy and his girlfriend are in the car in front of me, and this pickup truck's in front of them. And this is one of those pickup trucks where like he's cut the mufflers off or some shit. So it's like thumping my eardrums 2 cars back, and he's going like 7 miles per hour. And it's like, why the fuck does your fucking ratty ass like 1992 Chevy pickup truck need to be so goddamn loud? It's not fast. You're barely fucking moving, and you're like popping my fucking eardrums. Like, just admit you have a small penis and just move on with your life. Now, like, he didn't have it like jacked up and shit. Like, I used to be into the loud exhaust and stuff. Now, the only thing I'm going to put exhaust on is if it's a legitimate sports car, you know. And then even now, like the legitimate sports cars, there's a company called Army Tricks. It's one of my favorite exhaust companies. They make titanium exhaust systems because they're for high-end cars, but they're electronically baffled. So there's a baffle in them that you have a remote for, like your door unlock remote, and you can open and close it, or you can set it to where like at X RPMs it opens up, and when it goes below those, so basically when you put your ass in it, it opens up and it's brrrr, and when you're cruising down the highway or you're riding through your neighborhood, it's quiet because you get up to leave for work at 6 a.m. Your neighbors don't want to hear just while you're fucking rolling through the HOA neighborhood.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. What the fuck? People, all right. This next one, I have a few. So I'm gonna let you go first on it if you'd like. Willie wanted to know. This is his final question. What are your favorite and least favorite cover songs?
So I did this. I just picked one of each because, like you said, I know you want to go on with a little bit. I probably could, but you know my brain. I'm terrible on the spot. So my favorite by far is, I don't know if you played The Last of Us Part 2. The girl who voices Ellie in The Last of Us Part 2, Ellie plays guitar. So you're walking through this like music shop with, spoiler alert, with Ellie's girlfriend, and she finds a guitar. And there's parts in the game where it's really cool because basically you get a little like spinner wheel with the different chords on it. And it'll like light up a chord, and you have to push one of the sticks in that direction and then drag your finger across the touchpad. So it's like you're strumming a guitar, and you hit a few notes and she's like playing a song. And then you do about 8 or 10 notes. It takes over with a cutscene. I'll send it to you. She does the most beautiful cover of Take On Me. Like, you know, the song Take On Me
by Aha. Yeah.
Dude, that song like fucking brought tears to my eyes almost. Like, dude, it's the most beautiful version I've ever heard of that song. That album actually came out. They put it out. It was, what was it called? It was The Last of Us Part 2. I want to say it was like Side B. That's what they called it. I'm going to look it up real quick. Let's see. cover. It's The Last of Us Part 2 covers and rarities, and it's only 5 songs. It's Troy Baker, who voiced Joel, and Ashley Johnson, who voiced Ellie, singing these songs. And dude, like, I'll send you like a YouTube video of the entire album because it's only 5 songs. Yeah. Fucking just absolutely beautiful music on it. So that's my pick for favorite cover. My least favorite, the one I could think of off the top of my head, I'm sure there's other ones, would be, I don't know if you've heard it, it's a fairly new song, but it's called Cold Heart by Dua Lipa. It is a somewhat of a cover of Rocket Man by Elton John, but it's just not good to me. Like, it's not a bad song, but I just don't really like it. Elton John actually sings on that song. He signed off on it. He's cool with it. Like, it's not 100% a cover of Rocket Man, but I just don't like it. Like, it's just not good to me. So I will say runner up for best cover song is Disturbed's version of Sound of Silence. I think I might like that version better than the original version. Like, that version is fucking intense.
Okay. So I'm going to take what you just said and split it in two. My favorite Disturbed cover song they've ever done, they covered Midlife Crisis by Faith No More. And it's stupid good, right? It's nice. Really good. Now, my favorite cover of The Sound of Silence is by Nevermore.
Oh, yeah.
Which they take it and they turn that song up to 11, like, not in the same way Disturbed did. Like, I'll have to send it to you so you can hear what I mean. But favorite covers, oh man, Downplay, Cruel Summer, Ghost, Here Comes the Sun, Ghost, I'm a Marionette, Typo Negative, Hey Peter, which is Hey Joe by Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah. I almost said Lenny Kravitz. So like, that's not right.
Typo Negative did Cinnamon Girl by Neil Diamond. It's fantastic. This band Allegiant did Roundabout by Yes. And they fucking killed it, son. Killed it. It's so fucking good. God, there's so many cover songs that I really, really, really enjoyed. There used to be a band that I listened to. What were they called? Oh, God, I wish I could remember the name. They covered Don't Fear the Reaper, and it was really, really good. I don't like Hymn's version of Don't Fear the Reaper.
Yeah.
I like Hymn, but I don't like their version of that. I could probably think of another 100 songs that are covers that I really enjoy. I won't bug everybody with just naming them off right now, like the comic book guy. Like, oh yes, the other one I like is this by this band. But I'll say my least favorite cover, oh boy, without a shadow of a doubt, is Knocking on Heaven's Doors by Guns N' Roses.
Oh yeah.
Fucking ruined that song. Who the fuck told Axl Rose it was a good idea to take this beautiful Bob Dylan song and absolutely just shit all over it with his like, fuck, bro, lay off the heroin. Like, Jesus Christ, fucking awful. I respect Guns N' Roses and they have some songs that rock, but I had a friend of mine tell me one time that she thought that Axl Rose had the most beautiful voice in the history of rock and roll, and I told her that she was fucking stupid, because I don't tell many people their opinions are stupid for their musical opinions. But there are 2 opinions that I've heard that are really fucking stupid, right? And it's Axl Rose is the greatest rock singer of all time, and it's that metal musicians don't know how to play their instruments. Yeah. You stupid ass.
Like I said, I should get you charged up with that one.
No, I know. But yeah, so I'm going to change the next one. Jeff asked what was our favorite out of these 3 movies. I'm going to change it. Fuck, Marry, Kill. Young Frankenstein, Caddyshack, The Big Lebowski.
Okay.
I got mine, so I'll tell you. I'm going to marry The Big Lebowski. I'm going to fuck Young Frankenstein. I'm going to kill Caddyshack.
See, I'd probably marry Caddyshack, fuck Young Frankenstein, and kill Big Lebowski. Caddyshack, I fucking love both of those movies. They're classics to me. Young Frankenstein is funny, but to me it's not as good as Caddyshack. Big Lebowski, for me, is overrated. I think the reason I say that is I didn't see it for a long time, and everybody I talked to just fucking jerked it off as the best movie ever made and all that. So it was trying to live up to a lot of hype, and when I watched it, I was like, it's okay. So like, I think that's what killed it, is everybody saying how great it was.
I went into it blind, you know, so to me, it's just classic stoner comedy. Just really tremendous. Oh my God. My brain just, dude. Okay. Going back real quickly, movie with a great ending.
Yeah.
American Beauty.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit. Like my brain just like flashed that ending through my head real quick for some fucking reason. And I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. American Beauty. Amazing ending.
For sure.
But no, man, I have nothing against Caddyshack. And like, I love all three of those movies. You know what I'm saying? But I have a special place in my heart for The Big Lebowski for the time in my life that I saw it with the people that I did and, you know, things like that.
Oh yeah.
If you were seeing Willy Wonka's Chocolate Room for the first time, what would be the first treat that you'd go for to eat? Jeff would go for the big gummy bears.
I'd probably agree with Jeff. Probably the big gummy bears are either nerds or maybe that fizzy drink that makes you float. I think that'd be kind of cool to try.
So if we're going into that room and I'm hearing Gene Wilder sing Pure Imagination and I'm looking around, I do agree that the giant gummy bears would be very tempting because I absolutely adore gummy bears.
Oh yeah.
But dude, how delicious did that little teacup that Willy Wonka had that he like takes the sip of the drink and then he takes a bite of his cup? Bro, I want one of those, man.
Oh yeah.
Give me a white chocolate, a white chocolate thing with some milk in there, and then I drink the milk and then I can eat the white chocolate cup. Oh my God, bro.
Oh
yes.
Yeah. Absolutely.
In the words of the internet, yes, bitch, yes.
Oh yeah.
It would be so good, dude. I love Willy Wonka. That's such a good movie. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. My dad's too. Like, it's such a good movie.
It's funny because if you boil it down to its major plot points, it's basically a guy owns a factory full of OSHA violations and he dumps it off on an unwitting kid to avoid any penalty. Like, do you know how many people died in that factory?
Like, fucking Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory was Hunger Games, not Hunger Games, it was a Squid Game, just way less intense, right?
Oh, yeah. Living in a world of OSHA violations.
But yeah, man, I love them. I like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory as well. I respect that goes more along the lines of the book, and I have read the book as well. But there's just something about that classic movie.
I mean, it's Gene Wilder. Gene Wilder has this magic with him that
absolutely.
Did you ever see See No Evil, Hear No Evil with him and Richard Pryor, where Richard Pryor was blind and he was deaf, and they like stumbled upon a murder?
I watched one of their other movies together. They did a couple movies together.
Oh yeah, they did a few of them. Yeah.
The one that I watched was where they end up going to jail and they're walking in and Richard Pryor's like walking. He's like, "What are you walking like that for?" And Richard Pryor's like, "You got to be bad when you in jail.
Yeah,
you got to be a bad motherfucker." He's like, "All right, I'm gonna be a bad motherfucker. You're not gonna take no shit. I'm not gonna take no shit. No shit at all. No shit." And they get in there. That dude strikes the match on his chest hair, and Richard Pryor's like, "Oh shit." Oh shit! Oh, dude, it's such a good fucking movie. I don't remember the name of it though.
Oh, what was that one?
I do know the Hear No Evil, See No Evil is one that I've always wanted to watch. I just never got around to it.
Watch it. It's fucking amazing. Oh, what the fuck?
God,
I know the one you're talking. Stir Crazy.
Stir Crazy. Yes. Yeah. Tremendous film.
You can actually, if you look up the first video that shows up on Google is the "We're in Prison" scene.
Yes, it's so fucking good, dude. And then our final question for the week was from Kana, and because Kana is super pumped about the new Warhammer Horus Heresy pre-order dropping soon, and I want to say that I'm pumped about the new Owlcat Studios game. They did the Pathfinder computer games. They are doing a Rogue Trader, Warhammer 40k Rogue Trader RPG, and that looks like, I mean, Owlcat does good shit, so like I just can't wait for that. So Kana was curious, what Space Marine Legion would we be in? And she provided us a link in case, we don't, because obviously we don't have that too much information. So we did kind of like the which would you be in type thing, right?
Basically, we'll add the link in the show notes, or Dalton will, because I don't do anything but show up. I'm the talent. Dalton's all the behind the scenes magic. We'll add the link to it, and basically you go through and it's like it gives you a scenario and it gives you a few options to choose. You choose the options. It's only like 6 or 8 questions, and then it'll give you your like Legion or whatever.
Yeah. And
it'll give you like wallpapers you can download, or you can share it on your social media or any of that stuff.
So what did you get, good sir? And I believe it gives you a description. So
yeah, I ended up in the Dark Angels. It says, we've assigned you to the Dark Angels. The secretive Dark Angels were among the first Space Marines created by the Emperor, led by the noble patriarch Lyon L. Johnson. Their ranks and titles owe much to knightly traditions. So it sounds like I'm more in a group of knights, I guess.
Hell yeah. I don't know the difference in all of these, really.
Yeah. I know nothing about Warhammer, so...
I got assigned to the Salamanders. And it says, we've assigned you to the Salamanders. The Salamanders believe in strength of sacrifice. Their Primarch, Vulcan, seeks to protect the citizenry of the young Imperium, and with the flame and hammer of his legion cleanse the galaxy of greed and corruption. And also, I pulled it up on Wiki to see a little more about them, and it says the Salamanders are one of the Loyalists' first founding chapters of Space Marines. They originally served as the Imperium's 13th Space Marine Legion during the Great Crusade and the Horus Heresy, and for some time before the return of their Primarch were known as Dragon Warriors. Nice. Their homeworld is the volcanic death world of Nocturne. That's a lot of intense shit, man. Oh, yeah. So yeah, I think that hopefully we wouldn't be enemies, but we might be. I don't know if our warring legions. I don't know, but
Kana will have to let us know if our legions are on the same side or not.
Yeah, please let us know, Kana. This could be like a running thing. Yeah. we figure out how many times me and Jeremy would end up in separate battles.
All I know is Jessica Alba's on my side. Because we're the Dark Angels, and she was Dark Angel.
Can't believe you fucking pulled that reference. That's fucking impressive, sir.
Pulling deep from that well of Fox shows.
Well, I'll say then that I would have Nate on my side, because if we were known as Dragon Warriors, he really liked Dragon Warrior / Dragon Quest. So, yeah. Yeah. So you have Jessica Alba, I have Nate. Who's winning? Me.
You might could also get the gecko from the Geico commercials.
From Geico. Hell yeah. That's
a few axolotls. They're pretty popular now.
Some salamanders. Oh my goodness. Well, brother, that is about all that we have for the community questions and stuff, man. So would you like to, you did the intro. Do you want to run through the ending links here, sir?
Sure. If you would like to send us an email, ask a question anonymously, or whatever you want to do in our email, it is yetanotherbspod@gmail.com. If you're not in our Facebook group, you can join that. We post our weekly questions post there, funny memes, videos, whatever. It's facebook.com/groups /yetanotherbspodcast. We're also on Twitter at YabsPod, YABSPOD, or you can reach out to me or Dalton at Just Call Me Jezza and at Super Nerd Dalton. Dalton has also put together a really nice little website that collects all the shows, the show notes. You can listen right from that site on your PC. It is yabspod.wordpress.com. Anything else you want to pitch out there?
Yeah, you can also check me out on the Steam Machine podcast, where we play through PC games. This is me and my buddies, Nate and Willie. And if you want to come join that Discord, it's bit.ly/TSMP Discord, all capital letters. And there is a whole section of the Discord for YabsPod as well. So come in there, hang out with us. You can also catch me on the JRPG Report. It is very much the opposite of this show. It is a family-friendly news show that I do every week. I did take a bye week this week because there wasn't a ton of news. And then the day after, a bunch of news drops. So this next week is going to be packed, and it's going to be a good one. If you want to come check that out, please do. Also, I was looking at our analytics, and I realized that we are on Spotify and we are on Anchor. I never put us on iTunes, so I need to get on that and get us up there. Oh, yeah. I thought I had done that, but apparently I never finished it. So I'll get on that and try to get us up on iTunes as well. And any of the other places too, because there's a bunch of different places I can host to, so I'll try to get it as many places as I can. I think that about does it for me, my brother.
I think that does it for both of us then.
All right. Well, then, for this week's episode of YabsPod, he's Jeremy. My name's Dalton. And as always, guys, take it easy.